most challenging year ever, 2025, in terms of customer acquisition.
People have said that every year. To be honest, we found it's more what we do internally that matters.
Even if the LTV to CAC is net the same, the benefit is that it broadens the TAM because there's more people willing to pay 29 than 39.
Basically, you need to increase your ability to spend without your CAC decaying over time. If you just try and spend more with the same asset, 3 months down the line, your CPA is going to get worse.
I mean, we basically did some calculations. 7 or 8 or 9 weeks out, conversion rate, ad spend, CAC, retention. Best month of 2024.
How do you do it?
On this week's episode of The Lock-In, we take you behind closed doors with 3 of ecomm's top founders. Matt Kelly, Jack Rubin and Olly Hudson are the UK's leading voices in customer acquisition. Today, we give you their unfiltered take on how to scale a brand in the challenging 2025 environment.
There's some brands that are getting better results than we've ever seen, especially Meta, the way that they've updated the platform, the way it's very AI driven, the way delivery works, the way creative needs to be produced. But the ones that are leaning in hard get this power law of just accelerating returns and accelerating growth.
I actually don't think that is the main thing. People either want to buy your product or they don't.
Now that we spent 3 years being a marketing business, and actually we should be a product business.
I thought we were a product business. I've now realised we're a marketing business.
Probably launched products in fear of not hitting the budget.
Most brands suffer from lack of focus, in my view.
Who?
We'll spend 3 million quid on TV this year. In like a year, it's going to be our most efficient media buy. And after 2 years, it will probably be like pennies on the dollar.
Fuck. We were going to ask you that question, like what % right now is AI generated and where's it going?
Good question.
Lads, I just wanted to ask about AI ads here. Why have we got onto this? Oh, boys, look, thank you for joining us. Great to have you on board. Our first roundtable at the Lock-In. Myself and Andy sat down to think about what we would discuss today with you guys. We realised we've 3 of the brightest minds in ecom in the room.
We couldn't get your actual guest list, so you brought Olly Hudson on.
I got a last minute call.
Jack was the only fixed, confirmed guest. We were just extras.
You were right up there, mate, I promise. But now we have 3 bright minds in ecom. Jack, obviously co-founder Purdy Figg, scaled that thing to over 50 million revenue. Yourself, Matt, and Spacegoods, co-founder of that, 8 figures in revenue. And Olly, Soar With Us, marketing agency, spent over 100 million in ads, made many multiple returns.
How many 100 million at this point?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most bullshit metric of all time.
Yeah. It's not our ad spend.
And
It's
for
not.
other businesses.
It's, yeah.
We figured no better topic to discuss today than customer acquisition. I think 3 areas in particular: the current landscape. Number 2 is the influencer space, and number 3 is the future of it, given the explosion in AI. Like brands that we speak to now in the last few months all say the same thing, that it's the most challenging year ever, 2025, in terms of customer acquisition. CPMs are up, CPAs are up.
Don't people say that every year?
Yeah.
They do, yeah. I think particularly this year, but they always do.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's because it keeps getting harder.
Yeah. Are you seeing that with Purdy and Figg then?
People have said that every year that I've been doing the business. To be honest, we found it's more what we do internally that matters, whether you have a good or bad year. Like a couple of bad campaigns, and you kind of lose focus on what matters for a bit, and performance does worse, and do the right things, performance gets better. So I'm never really sure if it's platform related or internal.
Yeah, fair.
But I don't totally buy it gets harder.
It's harder. What do you think, Matt?
I think it's harder in different ways. The thing I find hardest now is managing the team, or like trying to get the best out of the team and knowing what I should do. And then I've also like fully realized now that we spent 3 years being a marketing business, and actually we should be a product business. And
That's interesting. Do you really think you should be a product business, not a marketing business?
well, I think it's a given that you should be a marketing business, but I think too many like look on Twitter. I mean, it's obviously a small slice, but like can't outmarket like an average product because your retention won't be there, especially in consumable and subscription, which more and more are moving towards. A lot of problems retention. But it's not bad, but it's not like best in class by any means. Like it works just about, like we're still growing, but I think it's hard to get to like 100 million with our current retention profile.
Yeah. You think product fixes that?
Yeah, and the hard thing about retention, right? CAC can move fucking 50% in a month, either good or bad, but retention's really hard to move at all unless you basically change your entire brand or bring something entirely new.
Yeah. So is that something you're constantly looking to do? Because I know that like you recently launched Hydro.
Oh, yeah, well, we can talk about that. I mean, the problem is I've been told to be more like positive about my own brand in public, but there's not interest in saying how perfect everything is.
Yeah.
Like we're category leader in mushrooms for sure. Do like 18 million this year in revenue. It's not huge, not Jack scale, but it's not tiny. It's good for a UK brand.
That's
But-
shitting on yourself, mate. It's a
Yeah,
good
you're
size
you're
brand,
just
like, yeah.
way too humble for sure.
Yeah.
You're way too big.
Yeah, but we can get onto the product stuff. But I basically think we've gone too broad and have really lost the essence of the brand. And we're doing a rebrand that's going live in January. And I really want to draw a line in the sand and go actually all in on where we started a bit more. Bring my founder story in a bit more. Not front and center, but like, I think you could argue what I'm saying is like an ego thing. I just don't like the brand because it's not as cool as I want it. But I also think it's just actually a problem because even people that used to be cult customers now are like, are you a fucking collagen brand now? I'm like, yeah, I feel that. I don't know. And it just makes it harder for everyone. Like, yes, it's a powder as well, but that's basically the only similarity. Yeah. You can put a fucking sprinkle of mushroom in there, but the audience for even hydration versus rainbow dust is largely very different.
Is it? Okay, so you're not seeing a huge crossover.
There
in
is
terms of-
crossover, but like the whole point of new products is to find incremental new customers, not just sell more to fucking Sally that's already a customer.
Yeah.
That is nice, but yeah.
What about flavors? Do you find launching new flavors the whole time helps in terms of
I think
new
that's
customer
the
acquisition?
most powerful thing you can do in a limited SKU business. You basically double your newness by just, you know, a flavor in a proven product. So yeah.
Because you guys are obviously big on that in terms of new scents the whole time, yeah?
Yeah, we spoke about that about a year ago, didn't we, on Zoom, about just flavors and scents being like MPD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I've done the opposite way to Matt. So I thought we were a product business, and then I've now realised we're a marketing business, which is hilarious as a kind of
I feel like product makes the marketing element easier if you do it well.
I'd say from
Yeah,
the
exactly,
agency standpoint, yeah.
I think from our context, I work with like over 65 brands. It's like I think there's like a separation right now. Like there's some brands that are leading into like the way to grow well this year and are getting better results than we've ever seen on the acquisition channels, especially Meta. It's just like a lot of brands aren't thinking in the way to achieve that. Like the way that they've updated the platform, the way it's very AI driven, the way delivery works now, the way signals on the channel works, the way creative needs to be produced. But the ones that are leaning in hard get this like power law of just accelerating returns and accelerating growth. It's just really hard to create that momentum, but once you've got it, it really compounds.
Do you find that from an agency side, you can work with them on making sure both the product and the marketing are pushing in the same direction? Or are you purely like, whatever your product is you want me to sell, I'll work out how to sell it? And almost to contradict Matt's point, like it is a pure marketing play. You can sell anything if your marketing's good enough.
I think you can for a while. I think it'll come to bite you like further down the line if your product's fundamentally
I
shit.
think the other one we spoke about, like not naming the brands or categories because I don't want to drop too much sauce. But it's like we know there's 3 brands. Well, you're actually in one of them. Well, fuck it, I'll just say it. Like women, like anything selling to middle-aged women with cleaning. We know 3 brands that are crushing it, including you. From
what are the other cleaning brands?
Tallow and Ash is one of them.
Oh yeah,
I know those guys, got the same investors as us. And then you working with them? My mate's got a brand called Mother's Earth. I don't know if you've seen them.
Don't work with them anymore, but
It's doing like 6 million a month and it's like a year and a half old.
Wow. Crushing.
Unless,
wild.
I mean, you know, cut it in half because it's probably exaggerating, but it's doing a lot of money. No investors, bootstrapped.
Wow.
And the product's not even that good in his case, in my opinion. It's like white label dropshipping spec. But point is, like, he's no better, in my opinion, than me at execution or our team. But it's been easier for him to scale at that velocity because just product market founder timing fit was better.
Yeah, you can have things stacked in your favour that make it a lot easier, but then also we're finding clients that come to us and we're doing research and finding a completely new way to take a product to market, like a supplement, for example, selling it to a different persona, age group, and that grows total addressable market, incremental reach, and therefore they're able to step change growth. So it's like not every product has the same level of mass appeal or same volume of personas or angles to take it to market, but there's enough to go on for most products to build an 8-figure brand.
Yeah, sure.
When we're looking at like product marketing teams and that integration, it's a lot of it's like, I feel like brands are increasing, they're kind of aware of the impact of product more so than a couple of years ago, and the product velocity, MPD velocity in businesses now is much greater. And it's that integration of marketing and product team that can often be quite a limiter. Yeah. The ability to move with pace. You look at athletic screens, that was one SKU until like a few months ago.
What are you looking at when you're launching a new product out of interest? Because like you've moved into the hydration space now. You mentioned collagen. Like, what sort of data are you looking at to figure out what you're going to make next?
I reckon you do a 2-hour podcast just on this, because I spoke to so many, and all the things I say generally come from much smarter people than me. I just fucking like synthesize it and spit it out in plain English on my podcast. It's never really just my opinion, so I can't take credit. But I was with James Watt from Brewdog the other night in his flat. He's a polarizing character, but I rate him a lot. He's a big Spacegoods customer for years, apparently. And he said, we're talking about this, and he said like he thinks product research and customer focus groups complete bullshit. And I was like, yeah, I think it's because, and his perspective on that was, well, you're only asking them what they've been served before. And I found that in a similar way. I'm probably careful what I say, because I know some people on my team watch this, but like, and I said this to them. So like, I've struggled a bit with all the products we did, which wasn't that many, but even like the original one was just basically my gut feel, like just instinct, which is a combination of just spending years looking at brands, right? I didn't do fucking customer research on like rainbow dust. Yeah. I just like was immersed in Twitter and stuff and saw that looked cool. And like with hydration, for example, that was a perfect example of, we looked at like post-purchase surveys and customer surveys and shit. But then, I'm not saying the product does work, but like, I think even if that becomes a bigger product than rainbow dust, I think you then have a bit of a brand problem, because like, oh, so what are you then? And the other problem I have, which is a whole fucking podcast in itself, is we're a venture-backed business. And don't even get me started on that. Like, plenty of pros and cons. And for me, I still genuinely believe it's net beneficial over a 5-year period for me. But there's definitely, you know, like, we've probably launched products in fear of not hitting the budget, and then actually in doing so, you've just complicated and doubled your workload for everyone, and then you fucking piss off your team because they're not clear on what you're trying to do, and then it's harder for them to do a good job because now you're spending half your time trying to force a new product to grow when actually it probably doesn't naturally fit the brand.
Yeah, because I've seen a few brands who there's confusion around what they are. Like you were saying, you work with Pure Sport. It's a good example. Where
is that a clothing brand or a sports brand?
Exactly.
I know Dan. I've said that to his face. So
yeah,
he's a great guy.
And they're saying it themselves now, and they're kind of, I'm not saying rebranded at the moment, but repositioning the business as to what it is they are. But like the best example of a business using data to decide what they're going to create next I've seen is Ghost with their energy drink. So like they were basically looking at like basket data from retailers over in the States who basically shared that like the product purchased alongside their protein most often by consumers was an energy drink.
Was that in retail?
Retail, yeah.
I think that's exactly. That's like a good data point.
Basket data, yeah.
It's like external to your business. Whereas I feel like your customers have like,
it's a bit of a,
when they're answering your own surveys, it's almost like bias or like, I feel like, yeah, you two are kind of interesting because like you've gone on this like big NPD cycle relaunches, whereas you've stayed very like,
Yeah, we haven't watched anything.
and I remember speaking to you like a year and a half ago around like you were debating launching a new SKU, but then I listened to a podcast and you talked about like the variables in growth, like products, markets, and I can't remember what the third one
product,
was.
market, channel. That's it.
Yeah,
It's only 3 ways
so
to grow.
What kind of pushed that timeline? What changed your thought process there?
I just think new products complicate business a lot.
Was it dilutes the brand in a way?
Both brand and operations.
Oh, okay.
So I've always just been, on the focus thing. We can get better at making Counter Clean, get better at selling it, and get better at retaining customers on it. Okay. And while you're making a lot of money from a product, to divert resources from doing those 3 things better, what does the bar have to be? That's always been my approach. So the bar has never been met for me to divert resources from those 3 things for Counter Clean.
Is the bar a revenue figure in your head or like a
it's just return on investment. It's like literally just take the focus and the time, management time, the meetings, the cash of doing those things against like new products that may or may not work and complicate the brand and slow down your operations versus just getting better at what you do. And that's always the trade-off with a new product. I do agree it can drive amazing demand, but we're lucky enough to have a product that, I don't know if it's a TAM thing or as you say, like the audience thing, but we've been able to continue to grow with that product. I do overall think people launch too many products. And most brands suffer from lack of focus, in my view.
Out of interest, yeah. So you've been scaling very, very fast year over year, yeah? What has been the biggest driver of you been able to scale efficiently over the last few years? Like, is it
just the model? It's literally a function of the payback that we get on customers, and retention, as Matt was saying, retention is the big driver of growth because it allows you to invest more in CAC and your returning customer revenue grows so much faster.
Yeah.
So it's just we've been fortunate with our model, basically.
I was going to say, is your CAC like gone through the roof over the years?
No, we managed to keep it pretty flat.
Okay.
Overall, I mean, it has ticked up, but what we've done alongside that is tick up ARPU, both new and existing. So, even though churn gets worse, so retention gets worse and CAC goes up, what we found is if you can tick up ARPU new and existing, it essentially counteracts those two things. So your LTV overall stays flat, and then it's kind of made the model continue.
But before we chat about what worked in particular, what ads, what formats, what you've done to scale the businesses, worth touching on that model. I heard you talk about allowable CAC before. Like, how do you work that out?
Just what the payback you want from a customer is. So we have a rule that we will not pay more than what we get paid in a year after all variable and fixed cost. So what we do is we take the normal contribution thing on a year, but then we take off all of our fixed overhead as well from those customers that we acquire. So it's like a true payback view, and because you got to have those.
Your payback's a year. I thought it'd be less than that.
Including fixed.
But I guess your long tail retention is probably miles better than ours. Because our payback's like 4 months, but our long tail retention's not that good. It nets out to a decent-ish number, but like.
Yeah, but how do you look at it with including fixed costs or just variable?
Just variable technically, but yeah, I guess obviously in the P&L you then have your OPEX line, which.
Yeah, but essentially in that calculation you just do your LTV, and if your, let's say OPEX is 15% or 20%, and your revenue's whatever it is,
then your payback's a lot longer.
It really makes a big difference. But a lot of brands scale on a variable model, and then their fixed cost is growing, and their overall business never able to make a profit. So we've always looked at it with the fixed cost included.
I also think people often have asked me, like investors or whatever, like, oh, what's your 12-month retention? I always say, stop you there. That's a leading question because you're in their head they're comparing me to Button Up Box, right? Yeah. Amazing business. I think it's only recently profitable after about 10 years. Obviously sold did a massive secondary, I think, at like 500 mil valuation. So founders are okay. But I think their 12-month retention, these are not the exact numbers, but fucking good. They're like 80% or something. But their gross margin was 15%. So it's not apples to apples. Our gross margin landed as like 62% after everything. So, I mean, their LTV to CAC was probably still better than ours. I'm almost certain it is, because their long tail retention will be insane. It's probably 5 years average. Whereas for us, it's not anywhere near that. But like, you need to look at the net LTV to CAC. Yeah. And like Jack's saying,
that's it.
Everything net of everything.
If you drop your price and therefore your margin, do you think that retention?
We did drop our price 4 months ago.
And did you see an increase in retention?
Not really, but it nets out. So it went from 39 to 29 on subscription, and the AOV barely moved. CAC came down. CAC came down like 40%.
Wow.
It's now going back up again.
Why did AOV not move?
People just bought more shit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, more
So
basket.
it's the first
Came
order.
down slightly, yeah. And just recurring, like buying other products because it's cheaper. Yeah. But the primary objective for me was, even if the LTV to CAC is net the same, which is actually pretty similar now, the benefit is that it broadens the TAM because there's more people willing to pay 29 than 39. So that's a better business anyway. Because there's like this concept of wall of churn where, like, as you were saying, your retention basically gets worse over time because the quality of the cohort's worse because you go from super fans to the average person that'll try and probably not buy again. Yeah. And I got that name from James Davison, our Ned. He founded Tails.com, which sold to Nestle for, I think it was 200 million or something. Different era of e-commerce in a way, but that was like the original button up. Yeah.
So price testing is like, that kind of price testing is super interesting because you drop your price, and what you normally find is if you're an LTV business, the increase in volume doesn't have to be a lot to pay for the loss of margin. Like, we were looking at some models for us, which was like, if we drop price by £5, we'd only need to have an increase in response rate by 8% on a CAC LTV basis to make it more profitable. So it's like 8% is like not a crazy increase in response rate.
You need that improvement to keep CAC the same.
Essentially, you need to 8% improvement in response rate to make.
What do you mean by response rate? I haven't heard that.
Like response rate, so
like retention.
No, response is like, so conversions, so new customer conversion. But then to have so if you look at overall profit from, let's say you spend 10 grand on ads here, cohort A, 10 grand on cohort B, and then you look at overall profit from each cohort, and let's call it a profit for a year after all fixed, variable, and ad spend. like an 8% improvement in response rate pays for that kind of drop in AOV. So it's not hard to achieve 8%. Like you can get 8% from changing, a section of your landing page.
Yeah. Did you guys do that? Did you test with different landing pages or IntelliGems or something?
We're always testing pricing in the UK, and we're testing some new markets where we're doing a lot of price testing. So that's why we're getting quite deep into that.
Before we go deeper, probably worth calling out for anyone listening that CAC is cost of acquiring a customer, LTV, lifetime value.
Well, specifically new customer, because you can get blended CAC, which is a pretty pointless metric in my
Yeah, I've
view,
never
but-
understood that one.
Yeah, because ad spend divided by orders, well, it's irrelevant because a lot of them are already customers.
Yeah. LTV, lifetime of a customer, you look at it on a 12-month basis.
But even that, I think it's got a nuance because we're talking gross margin per customer. Because LTR, I talk about top line, but LTV is margin per customer.
Are you looking beyond 12 months at this stage with LTV?
Yeah, we're now looking. We've got about 36 months of good data, which we're looking at. We don't take enough. We don't like to take risks beyond 12, just because those last 2 years, like we could have a COVID style like event, so you don't want to take too much risk on looking that far out. But yeah.
Back to the original question then around, is it getting tougher? If you think about what your reliable CAC was a few years ago, has that had to go up because it's getting more difficult to acquire efficiently? And then if you just had to compensate that on the LTV side?
It's kind of stayed the same. That's the thing. I mean, the whole way through. But it's just metrics have changed throughout. But broadly, we've kept the model intact, which has helped. But CAC has gone up. It's just other factors have helped neutralize that. That's all it is.
Because it's wild that you've been able to maintain that, because like every business scaling, typically their CAC just begins to balloon once they're hitting it, So like, is it kind of like, is it creative? Is it volume? Like, what are you looking at doing on a monthly basis to make sure that that doesn't get out of control as you're pushing more and more through Meta?
Oh, that's a big question.
And by the way, sorry, I'm going to preface this with, before we came on earlier on, I had a look at the amount of ads you're running at the moment, all right? 2,100 active ads, okay?
That many.
You've 700 at the moment, which is wild.
I don't know if that many.
That's a lot. Now, to put that in context, Nike have 1,800 live at the moment. Lululemon have less than 500. Whoop.
Yeah, but then they spend, hundreds of millions on celebrities, right?
I get that. But like fucking even Whoop, who I would have considered D2C, they are 200 ads. They're live. Like you lads are both pushing a fucking insane amount of volume in terms of ad creative through Meta. So like,
He runs all that. Well, so
how do you do it?
Oh, well, that's just process. But I actually don't think that is the main thing. Like, I think the brand thing is much more important than the ads thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like people either want to buy your product or they don't. An ad can push them to purchase, but there has to be some intent, especially on Meta. I mean, there has to be a bit of intent there, in my view, to scale like aggressively and for a long time. So yeah, it's just a great capturing lever, to be honest.
You focus on the brand and the product and what that offer is, make sure the intent is there, and then you hit the volume of number of ads, make sure that can work out, which is working best.
that's to my original point though, like products and brand. You can't beat what it is.
It's like you have to have the fundamentals in order, and then Meta is your distribution. And it's like, how do you do Meta as effectively as possible? It's still the best way to get in front of net new eyeballs, period. The brands that are doing it in the way that you should do it now, which is through a lot of diversity, and that diversity is layered in like angle, framework, formats. Like,
But they're not net new, is my point. Like, for instance, Matt's product, people in my office have it, people see it, they talk about it in the office, whatever, then they'll see a Meta ad and they'll buy it. The journey is not...
The funnel's broken.
it's not linear.
No, I don't know if anyone's whole journey is just... I don't think that many people are acquired with their whole journey being like Meta ad, buy.
Which was the case a few years ago.
I think it is for a lot of products still. I think like one of the biggest things we look at is like incremental reach over time through Meta. And if we inject an ad that is disproportionately incremental, i.e. it compared to the ad account previously, it is better than previous ads at getting in front of an untapped audience, the whole business is efficient.
But how do you know that that audience is untapped?
because we get reports and insights from Facebook.
Yeah, it's untapped within Facebook.
Yeah, within Facebook. Yeah,
But
I guess
how do
with
you know
your
it's untapped like across your whole
whole
ecosystem.
ecosystem. I think
Does it matter though? Because it's still the thing that pushes them at the end.
still brings them into the funnel, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like rising tides. Like I think that can be a great. As you get better at that, it like broadens your overall funnel out, and therefore more people come through the bottom of that funnel. And I think that's what we're seeing. Like those bigger brands, like almost the only KPI they're obsessing around is cost per incremental or cost per 1,000 unique eyeballs. So like CPM times frequency
On Meta
on
performance.
Meta, like because
Conversion campaigns on Meta.
yeah. And that's like, if you obsess around that, like making creative that it gets in front of audiences that your brand has never got in front of before on Facebook, maybe they have a subset of them.
Yeah, because like we interviewed someone today for a retail role. And I was like, I assume you've seen the brand before then. She's like, no, I've actually never seen it before. I was like, what? Yeah. I thought in the UK, most people would have seen it.
Yeah.
Especially like in that world.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I've never seen it before.
But she definitely has.
That's what I mean.
You're
like,
obviously your branding's not strong enough.
she doesn't remember.
I can use a tangible example. Like when we onboarded Matt again, his ad account, we introduced this completely new angle for selling rainbow dust.
You see, he's pitching. It's a sword pitch. I'm still waiting for my referral fees. I'll use that 25K. I'll have half of that.
And that just completely like opened up funnel and growth. So I don't think it's the only thing that matters, but I think it's important.
This month, our CAC's a bit fucked though. The agency's on the block. Sounds gets hard for a lot of people.
What's
past
your
4
core
weeks, though.
brand channel then? So outside of paid, obviously, and like a lot of brands are building their brand effectively when it comes to paid ads. You can definitely do that. Do you guys go heavy on organic, social, or what else do you look at?
We'll spend £3 million on TV this year.
Okay, fuck.
I like your TV ads.
That's old school.
And then we'll spend probably £500,000 on radio this year.
I like those as well.
And then we'll probably spend
You listen to
another.
radio?
Who listens to advert? Isn't BBC Radio on not ads?
But actually,
Where are those ads coming
what's
in?
your demographic in terms of buyer? Like, what's your core
Changing
audience?
all the time. It used to be like grannies.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it kind of makes
But
sense
it's
when you think
now,
of it.
it's now actually, it's crazy how it's changing. Like since March, the number of people 30 to 40 has tripled that are coming in. So like just a complete demographic change. And I think the TV and radio stuff has a lot to do with that. And then we're also spending quite heavily on YouTube awareness too. And quite a lot on upper funnel on Meta as well. It just takes ages to pay back. It's just one of those things where it's really painful for CAC in the short term. Yeah. But we've run long incrementality studies on TV, and it's insane what
How
happens.
do you attribute everything there?
So you just run an incrementality study for like over 6 months, which is painful because it takes a whole slot. But you just see it's nuts. Like the ICAC month, like while it's on, is like 250 quid, like horrible. Like, and then every single week, the number of new customers coming in the region you ran it is going up as you get further away from the event. So like 7 or 8 or 9 weeks out from the TV ad running, I'm getting more customers per week from the TV ad than when it was running. And by the end of the 6 months, it was still not like a good performance CAC, but we ended the test with a lot of confidence that in like a year, it's going to be our most efficient media buy. And after 2 years, it will probably be like pennies on the dollar.
Wow.
Much control do you have on TV ads? Because obviously on Meta, you can tweak things, configure things, target certain cohorts. And TV, is it?
You just do channel
Picture slot, is
and
it?
region.
Okay.
So we did channel 4 and then we did a region to do the incrementality test.
And you told it'll be shown during these shows, so you know that the
We
audience
can choose the shows, yeah.
Okay, that's
We
not
did
bad.
some shows. And then we also did, you can do also Sky, which is a cheaper buy. And you can do like, I want to be after White Lotus or whatever. Yeah. Like Sky Atlantic or whatever it might be. Yeah. But Channel 4 is expensive. Like Channel 4 ITV are like the most premium buys.
Did that, with your shift towards like younger people, has that been driven by, you say that was driven, you think, by those media buys? Was that an intentional thing you sought to do with the creative? Because I've seen your TV ad and it's quite...
Looks like Joe Wicks.
It's kind of making cleany. It's kind of like making something that's mundane feel like sexy almost. Like that feels what the intention was behind it. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, I mean, we basically did some calculations on our audience like 2 18 months ago, we're like, we are going to be out of customers pretty soon if we don't change. Like it just like the number of households, you just do the math on it, you're like, this is going to be a problem. So we just were like, we have to make an attempt to go younger. We had our rebrand come through, which wasn't that aggressive, but it kind of kept the older people happy, but then it made it acceptable for the younger people. And then we just went hard on upper funnel.
Did you lean into sustainability and stuff to hit the younger crowds?
No. It was more like what Olly's talking about, like lifestyle and more premium.
Did the rebrand fuck you in the short term? Because we're doing a rebrand in January.
Best month but one of our best
I'm
months last year.
scared to launch it because like, it's a new website and a new packaging.
Mate, you've wanted to do this rebrand for fucking...
Best month of 2024 was our rebrand month.
Even like website conversion rate and stuff.
Conversion rate, ad spend, CAC, retention.
Did you split test it or just go full send?
Full send.
Yeah, I think you have to.
It's a really good rebrand.
Because the stocks all changed, right?
Because you'd issues with your website when you rebuilt it or something, did you?
Our website's a fucking mess. I don't know. Like, it's the result of 3 years of agency bloats. It genuinely is. Like, really? The last agency we had, I'm not going to call them out, but don't fucking use them. You know who they are. You know who I'm talking about. Just like...
What, conversion rate or like just website?
No, the way it's built. Like, you can't change an image without a dev being on for 2 hours. It's ridiculous. It is absurd.
It's not Shopify, that is.
No, it's Shopify, obviously.
How can you not change an image on Shopify?
They just fucked it.
It's a Frankenstein.
It's almost like they put handcuffs on the website, so we'd have to pay them to change it.
Probably what they did.
Yeah, genuinely. It's ridiculous.
Do you have it in-house now?
Semi. We've got an ecom guy and then an agency.
Hired a CTO.
Yeah. We need a fucking NASA dev for this website.
Honestly, one of our best hires though.
Which role?
CTO.
Yeah, I definitely have a big name.
Hired a CTO?
But...
Yeah, honestly. Like for that exact reason, it's just like, also ecom development is not that complicated compared to like actual hard stuff. So if you get a good software guy on the ecom stuff, he's like, this is a walk in the park.
Yeah. That Shopify was drag and drop.
Yeah, it is drag and
That's
drop.
the thing, it is. But then you start building custom stuff.
Yours is like every
Even
single
this new
direct
website
response.
we're building. Like, I suggested last night, I'm pretty sure this was meant to be done 3 months ago. I'm just going to do it myself in a premium theme next weekend if you can't finish it today. Like, it's a joke.
Yeah, I love that. When you bring out the founder, like, I can do this in a day. Fuck off.
I can, though.
No, I know.
It'd be 80% as good in a day. Like, come on. We're just over-engineering this now.
Do you still think of conversion rate through the lens of product? Like, I remember when we went for that breakfast a while ago, you talked about like hiring people who had run product for SaaS and app businesses as your like,
product people
for customer journey.
Yeah, really good hires, product people. Yeah, like we had the CPO, Chief Product Officer at Athletic Greens, do like 6 months consultancy for us
On MPD or on website?
Website. Yeah. But she came from Rent the Runway where she was doing like actual product, like Twitter's a product, Rent the Runway, proper back-end stuff where the level of thinking is like eons ahead of where ecom people are at. So they spend 6 months, and she did AG1, so she understood subscription, cohorts and stuff. And then she was like, she was so expensive. But 6
How expensive?
Oh my God.
Day rate?
Like,
Day rate or
like
salary?
$28,000 invoices a month.
A month?
Yeah.
For one person?
Yeah.
Wow. Is it worth it?
Yeah, like some of the best money I've ever spent. Genuinely.
Send me her details.
I think she got a job. She got a job at a really.
She'll build you a new Shopify site.
She got a new quite big job. And I would have kept paying her honestly, but yeah, she. And then since then we've just had like product managers, or people who have done product management at like a Revolut or like a proper product company, and they find A/B testing.
Never ecom brands you hire from?
No, not for product, because they just understand. So like A/B testing to them on ecom is just so easy, and they're like, they actually think about user journeys and they think about how users behave, and it's a more brand centric. I mean, you'll like the way they think because it's very brand centric in terms of how they think about a website, rather than like an ecom person who's like, number go up, please, conversion rate.
But like everything with A/B testing is pretty much plug and play these days. Like surely you're doing a shitload of it with like Shoplift or something, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be careful what I say, but I think we've overcomplicated everything. I think there's a theme here. Yeah. And a more general point, like, how do you go from, because the thing is, when you're a founder, and I've prefaced this by, most of our team is great, there are some challenges, and I've said most of this to their face, but I'm going to be careful what I say. You start as a founder doing everything, right? And you just fucking do it. Like, oh, we want to change this. Okay, I'll do it now, like this minute. And then you hire a team, and there's process, and then you end up having like, then we've got an agency that works underneath the person that works underneath the head of growth that reports into me. It's like, fuck me. Like, still only like 16 people, but it ends up being 175 million times more complicated. Yeah. And it's just like, almost sometimes I think, Christ, like I can't do it myself because that's not sustainable. But it'd be so much easier to do it myself sometimes, or like for one person to do it themselves, not just me. So how do you manage that? Because
it's the founder's job
it
to
just
inject
slows
pace,
things down.
It's infuriating, honestly.
Yeah. You've got to inject pace as a founder. It's just, you've got to
Like,
do it the right
give
way.
one tangible example. Hopefully, if they watch this, I find it funny. But like, I noticed a button on our website wasn't the right pink. It wasn't the right hex code. I was like, small mistake, whatever, but get that right. 3 days later, it's in a list to be changed. I went in the fucking Shopify website, changed the fucking hex code. It was done in 13 seconds. Like, why are we putting this on a list, bro? Change the fucking thing and just fix it.
Have you seen that lines of communication graph before? Yeah. If you can pull things up on a podcast, it's so unbelievable. Yeah, it's like 3, 3, 4, 4, 6, 5 people was like 10, 6 people was like 18, and you're like, fuck.
So this is my challenge. I've only ever worked in SaaS companies and a little bit in ecom brand, but mainly in SaaS where there's lots of product managers. My worry of product managers was they spend more time writing up what to do than doing the thing. And it's the same as someone putting that on the list to change the hex code. It's quicker to go change the hex code than write up the description. So how do you hire the right product manager who's going to come in and not just write documentation for you, actually go and do the bit?
They do like to write a lot of documents. So I kind of, Ariel kind of got me into that, to be honest. Like the whole like the briefing of a test and actually having a proper hypothesis, a proper like measurement plan, a post-mortem. After the test finishes, having a get together with all the team, reading through, doing a readout of the post-mortem. That whole thing, it's actually the structure. It slows you down a bit. The problem with testing, I find, is people run too many tests and they run the wrong tests. And what that process forces you to do is slow down. What are we testing this month? What are the 2 or 3 things we need to actually test? Rather than running 20 tests, half of them you don't measure properly, you don't learn anything, no hypothesis, you're not really developing towards any kind of idea. So the slowing down thing's quite useful.
They all impact each other, those tests too, so you don't know what actually moved the needle. Or
That's what his site is a perfect example of. It's like been optimized by so many people.
The new site will help, to be fair.
And it's like, it's a Frankenstein site of like, this worked in isolation, but then you pair it with this, does it still work? Like no
our conversion
idea.
rate has gone up basically every month for like 2 years, but like, it's still a mess.
yeah.
It's focusing on big swings and like big, high impact things.
The funny
Obviously,
thing is our website, sorry, go on. I'll say it after.
like the degree of a big swing for you is probably like quite an incremental swing for someone else. But like, especially as you're a smaller brand, like you need to be trying to find large unlocks with those work streams, I think. Like not just obsessing over incremental tiny changes. Like make a new funnel, completely new funnel based on some data from an ad or something like that, or an offer test.
But let me give you an example, a good example of, they were talking earlier about retention declining, CAC going up, how do you manage LTV? So Ariel, who was very expensive, as I mentioned, she did a whole like user journey study for us back in 2023 or late 23. I think I told you about this on Zoom, but she was like, your users really want variety on sent. We're like, yeah, we give them variety through like new product launches. She's like, no. They want ongoing variety. They want to know about variety up front. So we designed a seasonal subscription where the scents change every quarter, and we created a buy box where you choose between like, do I want the same every time or do I want ongoing variety? Like that was that's product thinking. It's not a conversion rate. It did improve conversion rate, but it came from an idea about product and user thinking. And that change is probably the sole reason our model has stayed relatively consistent, because seasonal retention is now like, if we kept on our core proposition only, our CAC to LTV would be on the floor, because signature, we see what signature retention is, and seasonal is the thing that's kept the whole thing going. So that's what I'm kind of talking about with product thinking rather than conversion rate thinking.
Want to move on just to what is and isn't working on Meta, all right? And I was looking at the two of you guys' brands earlier on. You are both quite similar in a lot of ways in terms of like a huge double down on UGC over the last 12 months. What's like the main ad format that's working for both of you? And
I feel like I don't know because we've got a great creative strategist who does all this.
all right, Ollie, here's your moment.
Should I know that? That in itself's a good question. Like, how close should you be?
I could talk about this for ages.
Maybe I should know it a bit better. But
Like, what is and isn't working for people at the moment?
I think what's working is like for the brands that are getting the most out of the platform, it's reframing what Meta's become. And it's now an AI delivery system that is, and the basis of that is signal engineering, right? How do you feed it with a variety of content that's still high enough quality to drive conversion at your target? When you integrate like a new format of content, the Meta will gather like signals from how people interact with that. So watch time, click-through rate, engagement. It'll use that.
Thumb stop, which is my favorite.
Thumb stop. It'll use that as like an anchor, and it'll then drive delivery to a segment of audience that it thinks will resonate with that ad as a result of that context that it's generated. So as a result of that, it's like you need to be creating a highly diverse range of creative. So I don't see it as like this format's working better than the other. I see it as like building blocks of assets. You've got a pyramid. At the very top of that pyramid is stuff that matters very little, like color and font. At the bottom is like angle and message and persona. And you can build like persona, and then you can build into like format. So UGC, podcast, high production, static. Then you can build into like vehicle, which is like maybe you're doing a TikTok shop long form UGC, or you're doing a face to camera in a car. I think all of those formats will work for brands. It's all about the message and the execution that underpins it, and the research and the understanding of the customer. The challenge is the volume. So like,
surely we're a bit dry now.
how do you get the volume going? Like, how do you get the volume and diversity going?
And is it a goal to get that volume, and then you just basically hand it to Meta and say, here's the budget, here's the volume, you go figure out the rest and deliver the right one to the right people? Or do you still control that?
So you still need to, as you start spending far more, I think media buying's not dead. I think that's like I think you've got a terrible media buy when you've got a terrible media buy in an ad account.
Spoken like a real agency man.
We're going to poach his media buyer. He's getting poached.
Classic.
Just put it out there.
Tried to poach a few of my staff before.
Who?
A designer a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, you still need to test, and like if I look like the bigger spender accounts, you kind of have to force Meta to spend in certain ways to achieve your objective. Like you splitting it out by persona if you've got enough creative for multiple personas, because a lot of the time you'll start to see results decline if you centralize and spend to a couple of assets, which you're still pretty bad at. But yeah, I think it's like the creative machine is far more important than what happens in the ad account, but you still need to have an ad account set up that allows that to work.
And the creative machine is so important because we consume ads now like their content. And if we see the same thing again and again.
It's all about like incremental reach, getting in front of new audience. Your ability, basically, you need to increase your ability to spend without your CAC decaying over time. And unless you're very intentional about the approach to that, if you just try and spend more with the same asset format, same asset volume, I generally just see that become challenging.
Yeah, fatigue just kicks in really, really quickly.
Yeah, and it's like if you're not tracking it, it might not be an issue today, but as you start to see those metrics get worse, 3 months down the line, your CPA is going to get worse. And it's like just being intentional with that.
Have either of you lads had like one ad in particular that's just driven like an insane amount of revenue?
I think one of our biggest last year was one of me in a black t-shirt sweating in a fucking studio like this, and all the comments were like, if he's so focused, why does he look stoned? I was like, oh, fuck off. You get used to the abuse after a while. Founder ads work quite well.
You had
Maybe I should do a topless one for a middle-aged audience.
You had a Neon Beach ad that spent like 1.5 million quid.
Oh, that was ridiculous. That was back in the heyday. And I used to post them on the page and use the page post ID and just stat the engagement.
I had like 100,000
The same ad
likes
on every ad set.
100,000 which?
100,000 likes and like
easy.
40,000 comments. Yeah, it was absolutely...
What were the comments people giving off? Or
No, they were good comments. That was before the beginning of the end. Yeah, I don't know.
1.5 million on a single ad is insane.
You get outlier ads, so that's like the holy grail, right? You put an ad in an account.
I still think we should recycle our original 2022 ads. The ads that Brad used to make, I still think some of our best creative. I don't know why, like, sometimes it feels we make too many ads.
It's become a big strategy.
Optimizing for numbers instead of quality.
It's a big strategy now with organic, beginning to recycle content.
Our organic doesn't exist. Maybe we should talk about that. I don't know if you've got questions, but
This is
I
brilliant.
hate organic.
Organics,
we just can't crack it.
It's a good.
I don't know it personally. Like, I'm not fucking content guy. Like,
It's a good source of inspiration.
I look at brands like Salt, right? The quick side note. I've met those guys, nice guy, but does organic content at the founder in fucking Fulham scale you past that breakout phase? Because my argument is probably not, unless you pair it exceptionally well with paid, at which point paid becomes the 90% of that.
Which Tara and Ash do.
Yes, they do. Yeah, that's the best example of that.
I think. Oh yeah.
Because she's also the perfect founder to be the face of that brand. The challenge I have is I was the face kind of at the start with the podcast and stuff, but it doesn't feel authentic anymore for me to be the face.
I feel like that's like, it's not organic, it's founder as an angle for paid. It's like that works. That's like that's probably the like.
But I think even that has a limit.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they said in the AGM, right? You were there, and they were like, "Oh, this probably gets us to 30 million." But after that, it's less about the founder; it's more about the brand should be its own thing.
Their focus wasn't even the founder, though. It was building in public, wasn't it? That
From
was
the
their,
very beginning.
That was their
Like, they
big
were kind of
push.
putting content out there before they'd even launched the product.
Yeah.
Which is huge. You're taking feedback on everything from your packaging through to the flavors that you should be putting out there and whatever else. So people eat that shit up.
People like to feel part of something, don't they? I
100%.
feel like that's like a very disruptive way to build a brand in the face of what has been previous, which is very corporate, machine, like no like personality to it. So it disrupted.
I will just say quickly, I thought it was an odd choice to put crisps to have mid-podcast. How would that sound? That'd be ASMR, wouldn't it?
I was told it was a big table.
I mean, I'm hungry, but I'm not touching that.
This
on
is
a podcast.
actually our sponsor for today's podcast.
I'm surprised they're not fucking Tato. Cheese and onion.
People always ask how we get good guests on, but it's actually very simple.
Yeah.
So out of interest, Matt, yeah, if you were to go back to day 0 of Spacegoods, and would you bring a creator in from day 1?
I think a better question is what would I do differently, right? And I've thought about this many, many, many times because I'm probably extremely on the spectrum. And you write a lot of notes and speak to ChatGPT a lot. I mean, where do you want to start? Well, I'll answer that question first. What, with equity or just like...
Yeah, like a founder who's a creator, has
I do
distribution.
sometimes wish I had a co-founder, yeah. I wouldn't be willing to give 50% of the business to a fucking influencer though, because I don't think they're as valuable as they think.
What if they're an influencer that's also like a really strong content creator though, which is arguably one of the most important parts of any D2C business now,
Yeah, so like my investor and friend Jimmy, he sold a business called Hairburst, right? I think what I'm saying is in the public domain. So he started a brand called Epitome with Emily English and the nutritionist, who is also his cousin's wife. So that's the connection. She has X amount of equity, which isn't half, and he has most of it. Him and Gwil, actually, is co-founder of Hairburst. It's like they're the founding team. She's like publicly the founder. I think that can work because he says pretty much all their ads are her whitelisting. Yeah. And she's the perfect face for that, whereas they're definitely not. But they're the operators and they provide the capital and so on. Yeah. So
my view on that is like I feel like there's ways to engineer that outcome without having to give away a significant amount of your cap table though.
yeah, true. Just pay them.
I think like you could just it's like
That's a lot cheaper.
I think there's levels to that, right? I think there's like starting a brand with someone like an absolute massive celebrity. I don't know, can't think of one off the top of my
Justin
head.
Bieber.
Ryan Reynolds take probably makes sense. His distribution impact on that is so great. It'll probably cost you it's probably not that feasible to engineer that through other methods, but a lot of the creators that work best on, say, a TikTok shop have got no following. It's all content quality because like social media has gone from social to like intent based,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So I just feel like it's
Yeah, it's like, is it a brand thing or is it a content thing? Because like, you've got some celebrities that are the perfect face for a brand that make the brand compelling, like a Gordon Ramsay with Hexcloud, for instance. But that's not like the content is useful for that, but it's the brand connection is like the big thing. But like a creator, just hire a creator. Yeah.
I thought about this. Like, would Spacegoods have been better if I'd hired some like, unknown, pretty 22-year-old girl? I mean, you'll laugh, but like, I'm being serious. Like, and pretended she was the founder almost. Might not be great when you then speak to an investor who thinks it's her and it's me that jumps on, but or even like a fucking AI face of the brand these days. It's not there yet, but
That's an
probably
interesting
the next thing.
route
Like
that things
an
are
AI
going now.
influencer
Yeah.
as the face.
I think what like influencers. I think one of the ways brands do this that I think is really good is like using experts. I think like bringing an expert in a category like say you're starting a supplement and you're doing like Emily English is she straddles that line, right? She's like a expert influencer. I feel like in a world of loads of AI slop, like credibility that someone that can bring can be a benefit, like authenticity, credibility. So I can see that being really beneficial. We worked with Mike Tyson brought out a snus brand in America. And it was caffeine snus, and it was like 400 milligrams of caffeine per snus. It was fucking
Plus nicotine.
no, just caffeine, but it's like rocket fuel. I know the deal that they did behind that. I know the content that they got back, and it fucking definitely wasn't worth it. Like, no way.
They pay him or equity?
It was like a joint venture. I don't think it exists anymore. This was like less than 12 months ago. So like,
as much as I think that's authentic as well, you need authenticity there. Yeah. You know, like otherwise in the long term it won't work. Like Prime, tits up. Yeah. You know, like huge distribution at the beginning, everything goes wrong.
Would you do, or would you have considered any equity at an influencer on?
We had Purdy and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because no one's bought cleaning products from me.
Oh, it's your mum though, right?
Yeah. So like it was.
That's what Florist has done as well.
Yeah, it was perfect.
But they're still the face of the brand to a certain extent, aren't they?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, they were like amazing at the beginning with the products, particularly. And they have, so kind of that. But that's an example of like you don't need to be like a creator or a celebrity, but you've got a face of the brand that works for the customer.
Yeah.
So it's like two almost different things.
it's a narrative, I think.
There's distribution and then there's like brand.
Also, I was at this dinner with James Watt again, name dropping, but it was this Danny Stepper guy who was like the main guy there, and he's not the one. Anyway, he's well known, but anyway, he had a brand with like Kobe and shit. He'd been involved in like 3 10-figure exits in America, all this shit. But he just said celebrities are for 2 things in a brand: awareness and trial. That's it. And if you have a shit product, it might look good. I guess Prime's maybe an example of that. I don't know, but it pumps for the first year, unless there's any repeat or rate of sale in retail. It's irrelevant. Yeah. Because it gets people to know about it. Everyone knows about all these celebrity brands, but how many do you buy regularly?
Yeah, no, 100%.
If ever.
Yeah, there's only a few of them that have worked out for sure in the long run. What are you guys doing on the influencer side at the moment out of interest? Is it a big strategy for you?
Like everyone trying to work out this the best way to do like whitelisting. Yeah. Like we're having some challenges with it, to be honest, in terms of do you do macro or micro? How do the unit economics work with macro? How much you have to spend behind an ad to make it work? The usage rights are quite hard to get for like ages, which you need to make it work. So we're working through a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we're probably spending now 20% of our spend on Meta on like whitelisted stuff.
Yeah,
how typical is that for brands in general?
These two are both like up the upper end of that. I think that's the biggest thing that Meta are pushing. Do you know? I use that triangle of like how you build your creative diversity. I think like identity or whitelisting is like a multiplier on that, because you can do all of those things and then multiply.
Do you think micro makes a big difference in terms of influencer size?
I think creative quality is the most important thing. So you could use micro or macro. The main driver of ability to put a meaningful amount of spend is going to be creative quality. But the way I think about macro is it's worth doing if you can find a way to do it with someone who has an audience that is very different to your current audience, but it still makes sense from a brand perspective, because you're almost paying to get in front of just someone completely different.
Well, there's also the organic post eyeballs, right?
Yeah, but that's like very like...
We're spending 100 grand this month on influencer posting.
Are you?
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, it's in paying them to post.
And what, just for awareness?
No, conversion.
It converts,
like both, because then you use it. Wait, I think of it as 3 things. It's like brand and like credibility, which didn't really have before. We never did any of this a year ago. It's whitelisting and it's conversion from the post. Like Emily Clarkson, Jeremy Clarkson's daughter is our biggest one. Okay. We've been doing 6 months with her now. I think she's 15 grand a month.
Now, how many posts is she doing for you on an ongoing basis?
Like 2 a month. We hired this guy from MyProtein like 7 months ago because we'd never done any actual influencer stuff apart from, small scale gifting and whitelisting.
And size does matter, like the following, it's not just all creative quality. My thinking was that the eyeballs have shifted towards Reels now and the Explore page, not actually the newsfeed and looking at people you follow's post. But is that actually wrong? And people who have a good following, that is still the route to go?
Well, it's so hit and miss from what, I'm not an expert on this, so I don't run it, but like the stuff he tells me, some of the creators at MyProtein, because they're one of the biggest influencer spenders
they're the OG,
in the UK. Yeah. You said they would like come across like some random kid that was like blowing up. It would get way more conversions than like one of the big guys.
Yeah, it's a lottery. Well, you were saying about, you were talking more like whitelisting. I think like influencer paid for reach, paid for audience, like penetration. It's like finding people who have influence over their audience.
Yeah,
That's what you think. That's how I think about it as a mental model. It's like that could be someone who runs a Facebook group of 30,000 people, and they look to him like God.
Yeah.
It's like those are the holy grail of influencer relations, not the people with like 50,000 followers where 10% of them look at their posts.
So how do you measure the influencer stuff? Do you know, like the organic posting side? Do you use like a discount code?
Yeah, so we used to do it really complicated with like some bullshit MMM model that we just don't need at this scale, and even at big scale, I think it's overcomplicated. Now it's just codes. Okay. It's a mix of codes, and we use Polar with some fucking pixel setup.
How much are you spending on influencers?
It looks better than paid in itself, but it's smaller. Yeah. Like CAC is lower.
It's really interesting.
It wasn't at the start though; it's gradually come down.
Right. We're probably spending less. We're probably spending 80K a month, but including fees for whitelisting. So like the paid post side, I don't think we spend a lot, but I've just never seen it. I
was so cynical.
I'm pretty cynical of it, but I know you guys are pretty tight on.
Do you do a lot of seeding?
We've seeded every influencer in the
UK. You clip that and put that out of context.
So we can't do any more.
You should have said I have.
We completed the game. Yeah.
How did it go?
That's often like really low cost to reach, but there is obviously a limit to how many 60 million seeds.
You guys are doing that at pretty decent volume at this stage as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know how many per month now, but yeah, still do. Yeah, at least, yeah.
It got out of control for us. We were doing like 3,000-4,000 a month.
With kinship, is it?
Yeah.
You're still doing that?
No, we can't anymore.
Fully turned off?
Yeah.
You haven't to scale it down?
No, because there's no, I mean...
But you'll just resend it. I guess you got one product.
We do, yeah. We do some reseeding, so like we send to our best ones, but like, yeah, in terms of like fresh prospecting, it's like, yeah.
You're waiting for women to get older before you do look. We need a new cohort of biddies before we're going to be able to seed anyone again.
That's why we're excited about a new market, because it's like, oh, we can seed again.
So why haven't you gone outside of the UK or majorly at this stage yet, out of interest?
Same reason, really, earlier, just focus. Yeah. I felt like there was just, if we went international, we would take our after ball from the UK. So, and I basically have a theory that your international business is only ever going to be a percentage of your home business. So let's say the best in the public markets, the best consumer brands, they might get to like 40 or 50% international to home market ratio. So in my thinking, I was like, well, the bigger I get the UK, that means the bigger I'll be able to get the whole business, because it's kind of limited to 50%. Now, obviously, there will be some examples of more, but it told me, like, as a mental model, it's harder than you think. You don't just go to a new market and like have a unlimited TAM and insane business.
Why is that though? If let's say the US has such a bigger TAM, why do companies struggle to break beyond the 50%?
I think it's just like, it's really like, you know your home market so well.
Yeah.
Like you can't underestimate just the power of growing up somewhere, building your team there. Like they understand everything about it. There's so many like nuances in all of our marketing will do that will just unlock audience and CAC in our home market that we wouldn't do in another market like a German market or something. So I just think it's that factor. Maybe in theory you could build a US team, but it's like, who's the driver? Because you don't have a US founder.
It's a new company then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've seen more, like quite a few, like not horror shows, but we've seen a lot of people go in and fail, like spend a meaningful amount of money and not be able to get it to work. I also think once you're at real volume in a market, you've got this like unmeasurable halo effect.
Yeah. Just like brand equity as well.
Yeah, brand equity, referrals, like all of these
like
things.
Base revenue.
Base revenue. Like if you turned everything else off, you'd still sell products.
Yeah.
It's really hard as a brand to measure that and factor that into what that is going to look like when you go into a new market. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's impossible to do. I think if you've got the right margin profile, you're happy to lose money for a period, and you can test and learn really well. you will probably make it work, but it's like, how big can it get?
Are you as an agency ever tasked with, we want to dip our toes into this market? Can you go and try and reach out and see how the ads work?
Picture me on doing America.
We've done we've done
Anything
it.
for an
It's becoming a bigger topic.
Okay.
I think America's like so much bigger. It's actually hard to comprehend.
And
because
CPMs are so much higher.
It's like you can spend 100 million a year on Facebook in America. Like
I'm guessing every state is like a country here where you have to have nuance.
Yeah, and it's obviously everybody knows it's bigger, but it's like it's so vast. So we do get tasked. It's like the shiny thing to do. Yeah. But you have to like break off it's like you duplicate your whole operations, you duplicate your creative process.
I mean, we tried Germany,
your
right?
website, yeah. It's
How'd
just
it go?
I mean, the way we did it, we fully localized it. I pulled the plug on it 3 months ago. I said it's not worth it. Like,
Really?
It just wasn't, CAC wasn't making sense.
After,
No, he wasn't involved.
So after, and did you localize, having done like a test, or
Yeah,
just,
so we still run like 20% in Europe, but English website, English ads, and Germany was the top performer out there and the biggest. Like, all right, we'll localize in Germany. No one speaks German on the team, so we hired a German agency who don't give a fuck because we're a small client. Because Germany was small relative to the UK and their other clients. You know, the creatives it's like having a whole new business. It literally is a whole new business, basically a new P&L.
So you look at like even the way people transact in Germany, like they don't really have credit cards. It's all bank transfer. You look at Netherlands, they have a payment processor called Ideal that everybody uses, but no one's ever heard of. It's like these little things. Like trust in Germany is like such a difficult thing to
They hate
get.
subscriptions as well.
Yeah.
really.
We're 90% subscription first order. Or 85, something like that. It fluctuates, but it's high.
Business model doesn't work without it, really,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
Out of interest, what sort of percentage are you doing in retail at this point?
This year's like 10%.
10%.
Which is actually quite a lot, because bear in mind, it's a D2C product at D2C price points. We're the most expensive functional powder in Holland & Barrett, and we're the best seller other than Perfect Head, who's slightly different because it's way cheaper and it's fucking matcha, right?
What percentage of those retail customers are becoming subscribers?
There's definitely some. I mean, we'd look at like post-purchase surveys, because you think like the ads definitely, the only reason it works in retail, in my opinion, is because people see it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in here, I'll buy it. So I don't have a fucking clue how retail-only brands start in retail only, because like,
and has it, have you seen any cannibalization of your subscriber base?
I definitely think we have. I think it's really hard, or I'm just, but it's really hard to like objectively say that. It's definitely, I think it's incremental, but there's some overlap, right? Like even on Amazon, right? Prime Day was yesterday. We had a massive Amazon day.
Oh, we had
all-time record, but our CAC was horrible. It spiked by like
we had
25.
such a shit day on the
So there's always cannibalization until you do a canned drink, which may or may not be coming very soon.
Honestly, I didn't even realize it was Prime Day, and I messaged on Performance Day. I was like, "What the fuck is going on with Kat yesterday?" And he was like, "Oh look, year on year, Prime Day last year, it's actually cool." And I was like, "Right, fine."
I was like, why is Amazon so big?
how do
right.
you think about distribution, like sales channels? Obviously,
I'm so boring, honestly. We haven't done it, so we haven't touched it because So I'm most worried about the cannibalization problem, because to compete in grocery, we probably have to do something with our price. And also, I just don't know how our like bottle for life and concentrate thing really works. I've seen like some others do it, like Neat and all that. I just don't think I don't think it looks that good. I don't think it really works. So it just,
Does it tarnish the brand, do you think, once you go onto a shelf
I
versus
think
a
there's
cool
an element
website?
of that in grocery. Like
Yeah.
in grocery, there's like Tesco's where all the volume is in grocery. And there's an element of
I
that.
don't do premium.
So I think we can do grocery for sure at some point, but it's like, it's the, back to product channels market, it's like channels the last on my list. I mean, I'd say it's markets, products, channels is my strategic list.
We're trying to do all three at the same time.
You're out of home now, I see. You have billboards and stuff up, don't you?
Oh yeah, but that's only like small scale around like a retail launch. So then you put it on LinkedIn, everyone thinks you're a billionaire, and it's like fucking 5K out of home. Like chill out. But we did a Canary Wharf one.
it's good fundraising exercise.
It's content.
Do you see a place for Purdy Figg though in like somewhere premium, like a Selfridges or something like that?
Yeah, but like, what's the point?
But then there's £1,000 a year in purchase value.
But yeah, what's the point?
I always laugh when founders get into Selfridges and or Whole Foods and start like crying on LinkedIn. It's like, oh, I didn't cover your fucking train ticket to go take the pick. It literally didn't. There's one store. Oh, there's two in the UK, I think. At Selfridges, there's one or two or whatever. There's not many. Like, Oh, it's good for brand. Come on.
Waste of time for sure.
Yeah.
Put it into ads.
Exactly.
I feel like distribution channels are just continue, or even marketing channels are just continuing to, the amount of them are just continuing to grow. Like you got AI coming next, right? You got like ChatGPT.
Lovely segue. I was looking at my watch there, like we need to move on to AI.
Come on, you only got
Number 4, AI. You just teed us up lovely, yeah, lovely.
I might. Sorry, just really quick on AI. I might live to regret this, saying this in public, but that's not happening for ages. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys actually used the agent stuff yet?
Not agents. I use ChatGPT every day.
Yeah.
Like the agent stuff. I'm sorry, it is not ready. No. It is not ready. I've been like watching up till 2 a.m, trying to like create an AI personal assistant to do loads of stuff because my personal assistant's going on maternity leave. I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? So I've been trying to use AI, and I'm like, this is buggy. It's slow. The integrations don't work. The automations don't actually work. I'm like, everyone's talking about like personal shopping on AI is going to like a decade.
So that's a while away, but I do think that you have, like, AI is changing the game in a lot of ways at the moment. Like content.
Even in Soar, Soar 2.
So have you had like many winning ads from AI?
Not full ads, but like 30% of the footage in an ad will be AI. I think by this time next year, a significant proportion of our ads will be fully AI generated.
Do you think?
I think the next Google
We would
update
ask that
is gonna
question,
be
like what percent
crazy.
right now is AI generated and where's it going?
None of our ads are fully AI generated, but what we'll do is like we'll find an ad that works, and then you've got
is
like
fully AI generated.
There's your trailer.
That's what I've done now.
But then you'll take like what it allows you to do is like 10x creativity. So you've got like this like example. We had this Creatine brand where we had like the hook was someone carrying it on a spoon. We did it. It worked. So we took it and we put the person holding Creatine on a spoon in a roller coaster and did another version of it, and that popped off as well. Yeah. So it's like
It's good for images.
You start being able to like.
Nano Banana's pretty good.
That's where your volume comes now.
Yeah, I do know scripting as well. Right, there is script. Like our creative team has barely grown since scaling up volume. It's grown a bit, but not a lot. And we were down the pub the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, without AI, we'd be costing you like another 5-6 heads." I was like, "Oh, really? I didn't realize." Thanks.
It's cost per creative. Like we're like, as creative volume is a massive driver of growth. Like AI should reduce the cost over time. What I think it is it's just an ad network, right? They're going to launch ads.
Like in the chat.
100%.
I was talking about like AI because some people are saying like shopping decisions are going to be made by AI soon. So it's like people don't shop themselves. There's an AI agent that does the shopping.
Yeah,
so in terms of like search replacement,
There's a stepping stone to get
and it's
there,
even like
for sure.
Soar 2 is like a TikTok-y feed. It's like they're just going to slap ads in there. Like they have to. So everything becomes an ad network.
Yeah.
Well, OpenAI now have announced over the last couple of weeks that they're moving into that
Shopify.
space.
Yeah.
OpenAI. Oh yeah, with Shopify. Yeah.
So you no longer have to come to the store. You can do the actual put in your shipping details and your payment
That's
details.
kind of the one I think is a bit overblown. But I do think like ads in the AI systems will be big.
Yeah.
But I think the shopping in AI is a bit overblown.
I personally would still go through to the website because I'll probably end up checking other things then.
Yeah.
Do you know? But the functionality is there now where you never actually have to go to a brand site.
And discoverability. is
Yeah,
gonna be huge.
the GEO side of it, that's going to be really interesting.
But 90% of it's like for it to really change your media mix, it's like it needs to take attention because what most brands rely on is impulse purchase and direct response. So it's like if people are still on Facebook and TikTok, you're still going to be able to put an ad in front of them and drive people through to site.
If you think about Google, like do you see a change now from?
I don't Google anything anymore.
You don't-
Genuinely,
yeah.
nothing.
Do you see anything
Takes
come
too long.
through ChatGPT instead of Google now?
I've actually got an extension on my browser which is just like straight to ChatGPT. Yeah.
But even customers coming to your site, are they now searching for, I'm looking for a cleaning product, sustainable?
Probably getting there.
You not? Is that
You've
not?
got
You
a
can't
few-
see that yet. No.
I've had a look at your traffic. You've got a few. It depends on the product. If it's like best supplement for this, it's like it's like lower, like high intent. Whereas I feel like, are you more like, do you rely more on like getting in front of people, discovery, like kind of education first?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, brand search in terms of like not brand search, non-brand search for us is minimal.
Yeah.
Brand search is obviously big,
So
but
maybe it's not as.
Whereas if
big
you're
as
selling
then.
something like a a supplement. It's,
Yeah.
Or it's like there's probably a lot of people searching for the problem or searching for the solution to that problem, and you can.
There's tools out there now that will measure your, like on GEO instead of SEO, how much you appear in ChatGPT for certain things. And now there's tools claiming that they'll get you higher ranked in the looking for a functional beverage to get me focused. It's not coffee.
What, do they use that kind of information, do you think?
I'd say they look at
They
your
know everything.
previous
I've
search
put far
history
too much
and-
stuff into ChatGPT, like it's all over. It knows everything.
I don't
It's
even want
connected
to
to my
know.
Gmail, it's connected to my calendar.
Have you seen the wearables that are coming?
Yeah, with Johnny Ive. So he left Apple and went to OpenAI. I met that guy. I had dinner with him before.
Johnny Ive?
Years ago. Okay, slight exaggeration. I sat on a round table dinner with him when I was in first year uni, because he went to the uni I went to before I dropped out. With Johnny Ive. I was one of like 4 people who got chosen. I've got a picture with him. And he pressed me in the chest, let's tell this brief story, and said, Steve told me on his deathbed, you must focus, Johnny. I'm trying to do his accent, but and it stuck with me. Like he pressed really hard and said, you must focus.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, chill, fucking hell. I was
So
like
I'm going
18.
to launch 8 new products this year.
I'm 18, chill. Yeah, fair.
No, it stuck with me though. It was a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, they're bringing out a new device, but Meta are bringing
Yeah, I
out
wonder
a
what
lot
they're
of
going to
wearables.
be.
It's going to be glasses, obviously.
They've redone the Meta Ray-Bans, and they've released this. They're about to release this wrist thing where you can control a computer with your fingers. So
Do you need that? I'd rather control the computer with my fingers.
But then did we need this 20 years ago?
Yeah, true.
Well, I think glasses is going to be way better. I mean, we're all just like our whole lives, just like, at least glasses will actually look at each other. And they'll just also, what I've realized about devices is you just add them, you never take away. It's like computer, iPad, watch, phone, you have them all. So it's just going to be a glasses on top.
wearing your glasses whilst using your phone.
And now people have a ring, a fucking wearable ring.
So what I'm getting is none of you guys are fully convinced in AI right now.
Well, I think everything's inevitably slower than the hype, right? And then it's probably like the fucking Dunning-Kruger curve. So it's going to be everything. Oh, shit. Oh, it's actually quite good. Like,
I think it's like, it's kind of scary. Trying to plan like a creative agency business in a context, it's just anxiety inducing how fast it moves.
that's why you need to start a brand. You can't AI replace physical goods.
But it's like, I think there's
You can replace an agency though.
the question, the difficult thing with any tech like advancement is like how much of it gets passed straight onto the customer. Yeah. So how much of it comes to us in terms of that, or how much goes straight through to the people who service because it's easy to use.
Are you ever going to sell your agency?
Eventually, yeah. Not now because not
We
for
always
the,
talk about starting a new
what
brand.
I
don't we?
think. What I think AI will do for us is improve gross profit margin because we'll be able to do more with less people over the short term. But I think there's an inflection point where it just replaces everything we do and everything.
Yeah, I think that's a long way away. though.
So, like, even at this point now, like, obviously Meta has gotten so good that, like, targeting doesn't even really fucking matter anymore. Yeah, it's all just, like, broad audiences, and it's really come down to creative. Do you think at some point soon it's going to get to a stage where, like, our agencies just going to become creative agencies and media buyers, like, theoretically don't need to exist anymore?
Yeah, definitely. That's like in the midterm. There's also like a slightly longer term view that most creative is generated in Facebook, and that's like a lot do away. But I do
Didn't
think
Zuck say he sees a vision where you plug in the bank account and they run it?
you give
Like,
them
that's it.
a target
They're the
and they go and
strategist
find
and the
creative,
creative
But,
and everything.
Yeah, so it's like I think immediate term, like short term, mid term, I think that will be a factor. If you compare now to 3 years ago, the role of a media buyer is a lot different. You extrapolate rate of progression and change 3 years further down the line. Like I think the role it becomes, you move from execution to strategy. That's what it allows you to do, right? Your agency and your impact goes up as an individual and which is a good thing. It's just like it's very hard to think about what that looks like.
Have you heard Taylor Holiday on that? Do you know Taylor Holiday?
I know him,
commentary
yeah.
guy. He speaks so articulately about like the change of agency and how agencies need to move to strategy.
Strategy and SaaS, it's like your agency needs to become tech enabled because SaaS allows you to build the infrastructure to bring AI into the business.
Yeah. But you doing anything on the CS side with AI now?
Customer service. Yeah, I think like 70% of our gorgeous tickets are AI, fully AI. Response time's like 30 seconds. We also have, I think, an automated phone number. Like if you ring, it fucking speaks to you in AI. So like default you somewhere else.
In your voice.
Not in my voice, I think.
And the CSAT on those phone calls is okay?
Yeah, but at the same time, we spend like 20 grand a month on this agency that actually calls people that churn, which is real people. So, and the reason we haven't AI'd that is because the response is way better with real people.
Is their job to ask the people why they've churned and get them back?
Do two things. So why they've churned, and I think I don't know the numbers. So we win back a decent amount, so it's ROI positive, and to welcome them to the subscription, which I was always a bit suspect of, because there's a theory that the more you contact a subscriber, and it's a sneaky way to do business, but it's just a fact, like the more likely they are to churn, the more contact points, right? That's why some people do like, what's that thing? They do 4 weekly subscriptions instead of monthly subscriptions.
That's
So
the
you get
data.
one extra billing per year, but you also, it doesn't come out of the bank account at the same time as other things. So they're less likely to notice. We don't do that, but we probably should.
That holdout test.
Runes does that. There's a famous,
contacting.
well, not famous, a big thread about that.
Brez does it as well. They switched to it.
Yeah, that's it.
That holdout test of you contacting people in the first 4 weeks blew my mind. I just like it just completely contradicts.
In what
everything.
way? As in you were surprised it was good?
I was like, yeah, your team was saying that was the case, and I just didn't believe it, and it actually stacked up.
Yeah, we haven't found inertia to be that big a thing, to be honest. Like contacting is fine.
But do you do the calling?
We don't do calling, just email it. I'm talking about, are you talking about calling or email it?
They were calling, which
Oh,
I thought was
calling.
like super high touch.
It's out of work actors, call them when they've churned and ask them for feedback and to get them back with a discount.
Oh, we haven't done any of that.
You should try it. I reckon it'll be massively ROI positive.
I spoke to Beer 52 about that the other day. They went hard on
It's like having a sales team, but at the other end.
calling churned people.
Yeah, because our churn base over 3 years is probably 6 figures of people, I guess. It's high. A lot of people.
How spooked would you be though if you get a call from someone like an AI agent at Spacegoods asking
Well, this
you
is
to
real
renew
people
your
currently.
subscription?
Have you interacted with an AI agent? Like, have you?
The phone
I
have,
speak to
yeah.
ChatGPT a lot. If I'm driving, I speak to ChatGPT.
They're good. It's just the 1 second delay always throws me. Yeah.
I started to develop feelings for mine, so I have to go back to text. So hold on. Yeah, I started to feel shit. Let's change the voice. Different person now.
A gristly bloke.
Another thing on AI, I am surprised you two lads running brands of your size aren't seeing huge traffic come through AI. Because like I personally would always search for, I'm in the market for a new rucksack, here's what I want, and then it'll tell me, here's the options. You can order online or here's some close
To be
by.
fair, I haven't really searched for products on ChatGPT so much yet. It's more like questions about fucking
Yeah.
life and shit.
You're both selling to, well, not anymore, but you're both selling to older generation, right? Most AI users are under 30, but there's like a core cohort, under 35 definitely. So I do think it's like younger brands also. Like if you're selling to over the 45 women, like they've barely just started to use Facebook.
We have like a few brands we spoke to are starting to think a lot about their GEO strategy. Like how do they appear?
What does that
high-
stand for? Instead of SEO?
Generative
Oh, okay.
optimization.
Oh wow, generous. GEO.
I'm sure ChatGPT, all these ones will turn into ads and how you can get placed high, but for now it's still organic. What I would always ask, I'm looking for
No,
this.
I do worry about. I mean, I didn't know what GEO was either, and that's what worries me the most about having a brand in like this AI era. Is if you, I interviewed a CFO of Sweaty Betty.
Yeah.
And she'd been there like 6 years, and they started just before Shopify, and we were chatting about like cohorts and like just finance stuff, and she was like, "Oh yeah, Sweaty Betty, we couldn't tell the difference between new and returning customers,"
Oh,
and I was like,
A bit concerning in a CFO interview.
and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, well, like I'm like, literally, that's like the most basic Shopify information." So, "Oh yeah, we just were before Shopify, so we didn't have that information." And
Maybe they use fucking like Samcart or something. Big commerce.
yeah, I don't know, but it made me, the analogy I've thought of recently is a brand starting now with AI, they will be doing things and thinking things like GEO, where brands that started 3 or 4 years ago, they're just not built in the same way. And that's my big worry with like in 3 or 4 years, who are the entrants coming in that have like 2% OPEX and like AI systems.
I think about this a lot, yeah.
It's arbitrage, right? Any new channel has massive arbitrage. It's like who can move
TikTok Shop.
fastest. TikTok
Well,
Shop.
like the big thing a few years ago was like digital transformation for all of these like legacy brands that have been around for years, and all of a sudden they need to.
I just wonder where all the people go.
Which
What
with AI?
do all the, like, you have to remember, like 99.9% of people, or 99%, whatever, like don't run fucking businesses like in general, let alone like decent ones and like have maybe some personal liquidity that gives them an optionality. Like what does the average person do that's on the 40K salary in the office? They have to bring in universal basic income. I don't see how they don't.
Yeah.
That's actually concerning because they're also your customers. So it affects everyone.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, one question for each of you. We've covered customer acquisition, AI. If your most reliant channel, Meta, switched off tomorrow, how would you acquire customers? Where would you double down?
Good question.
Start with you, Matt.
I'd probably try and scale my podcast to like Modern Wisdom size. Honestly, that'd be one thing I'd do. I'd lean into that more, and then probably influencers, and then actually maybe like fucking physical locations.
Yeah. Your own
And build like cult community coffee shops that are pink.
Yeah.
Spacegoodsville.
I think that's a great idea to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it before, and everyone's like, fucking don't do that. Call it Utopia, put it on Carnaby Street, and then scale it to 1,000 locations.
Couldn't think of anything worse than
So you've got a coffee shop.
You're running a fucking restaurant and event business tonight. It's like two awful models.
Ollie, tough question for yourself, given you're an agency focusing mainly on Meta. What would-
TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop. Yeah, has to be. Right now, it's just like it's the easiest place to get the similar-ish growth.
Have you seen much change there recently in terms of like increased AOV?
Yeah, it's getting more normalized. Yeah, AOV's going up. If you look in America, especially, a lot of the biggest shops are selling like $100 AOV. It's just becoming a less skepticism as it gets bigger.
more normal now.
Yeah, but it's harder obviously to compete. But I still think you can, especially in the UK, it's pretty.
It's time intensive though, isn't it? You need someone on it full time. Like
That's where you could find some new influencer gifting. You could find plenty of TikTok Shop creators.
Have you done anything on TikTok Shop? No.
We did it for like a week, and I pulled it.
It's tough to justify as subscription runs, although the cohort
Yeah,
isn't
it
as
doesn't
bad
do
as you
subscription,
think.
does it? It's
Not at the moment. It's
possible.
coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
Jack, what about yourself?
If Meta stopped working,
It was turned off tomorrow with just your account.
I'd probably go all into top of funnel, and I'd probably launch into grocery.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a better answer than mine.
I was expecting TV.
yeah, TV and grocery is what I'd do. TV and grocery, basically. Yeah, because Meta's basically like a grocery shop.
Lads, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us here. That was brilliant. Cheers, fellas.